5.3 is the same as 5.2, except for now we're dealing with unlike fractions. We're going to start out with the foundational skills again with fractions, and then our last couple screens will put the component of variables into the equations. So first of all, our first rule will always be rename with a common denominator. So when we look at our denominators, 12 and 3, we need to know a number that both numbers can divide into evenly. So I'm going to go to my larger number first, that's 12, and I'm going to see if that could possibly be my common denominator. I go to my other denominator, that's 3. Can 3 go into 12 evenly? Yes, it can, so that our common denominator can be 12. So 5/12 is going to stay the same. But in order for me to use 1/3, I need to change it into 12ths. So my pie is cut into 3 pieces right now. I want to make it into 12 even pieces. So each one of those pieces, how do I get from 3 to 12? I'm going to multiply by 4. So if I multiply my denominator by 4, I need to multiply my numerator by 4. So 1 times 4 is 4. So now I have, again, renaming in a slightly different way than we did 5.2. We were reducing. This time we're making common denominators. So now I have 1/3 is the same as 4/12. And if I have 4/12, I can follow my rule from the last lesson, and I can just go ahead and add the numerator and keep my denominator. Now, as always, I need to remember my simplifying rule. What's a number that goes into both of those? That would be 3. So 9 divided by 3 equals 3. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So my simplified answer would be 3/4. Again, pause, rewind if there's any part of this that you are not catching on to or remembering. Our next one is going to be -5/6 minus 7/9. Now this time we're going to go to our larger denominator, and that's 9. We're going to go to the smaller one, 6. Can 6 go into 9 evenly? No, it cannot. So we're going to come back to our larger one, and we're going to, first of all, do 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Can 6 go into 18? Yes, it can. So our common denominator, as soon as you decide what the common denominator is, we're going to change that common denominator to 18. Now, to get from 6 to 18, I needed to multiply by 3. So I'm going to do that to the top. -5 times 3 is going to be a -15. To get from 9 to 18, I need to multiply by 2. So 9 times 2, that means I need to do the same to the top, because 2 over 2 would equal 1, and I can multiply any number by 1. So 7 times 2, oops, sorry, I was writing what I was saying. 7 times 2 equals 14. So my new sentence is going to be a -15. For some reason it's breaking up there a little bit. -15, and that's going to be minus 14. So I can go ahead and apply my integer rules, add the opposite. So I have a -15 and I have a -14. My answer then is going to be a -29 over 18. Sorry, a little bit of technical problems there. And that is an improper fraction, so I need to go ahead and change it. I'm going to put in my calculator, 29 divided by 18. That goes in there one time. It has some decimals. I clear that, and I say 18 times 1 is 18. So let's take that off of the 29 pieces we had. We'll have 11 pieces left. But remember, this was a negative here, so we want to make sure it's a negative here. So my final simplified answer is -1 and 11/18. Okay, moving to the next screen. We again have some, we have different denominators, but we also have mixed numbers. So our first step is going to be change this to improper fractions. So negative 4 times 5, negative 20, plus 2, I have 22 over 5. Don't forget your integer sign, that's a negative. That's going to be plus, and 2 times 11 is negative 22. Plus 6 is negative 28 elevenths. Now, 5 and 11 are not common denominators. So I'm going to go to 11, and I'm going to say, can 5 go into that evenly? Now, we know our multiplication facts pretty well, and 11s are going to go by 22, 33, 44, 55. 55 is the first number that they both share in common, their common denominator. So we're going to change our denominator to 55. Now we need to change both of our numbers. I'm going to go ahead and write this in. So to get from 5 to 55, I need to multiply by 11. So if I'm going to multiply the bottom, I'm going to multiply the top. Again, that rule is 11 over 11 is 1. So I can multiply and divide any number by that. And I can use my calculator here. 11 times 22. Okay, 11 times 22 is going to be a negative, we have our negative sign here, negative 242, I believe. Check that quickly, yes. This time, I need to get from 11 to 55, I'm going to be multiplying by 5. So I need to do the same on the top, multiplying by 5. I have a negative 28 times 5. So my negative 28 times 5 is going to get me to a negative 100. A little bit of problems here with the stylus. Negative 140. So now a negative 242 plus a negative 140 is going to end up giving me a negative 382 over 55. Running out of some space here, I'm going to divide 382 by 55. It's a negative, so it's going to stay negative. So that's going to give me a negative 6. Clear the calculator. 55 times 6. And then you're going to subtract that from 382. And you're going to end up with 52 over 55. Again, please ask in class practice if you have trouble changing from impropers to mixed numbers. One more of those. 10 and 1/5 minus 5 and 3/4. Pause 1 second here. Are you